the Phenomenal Hughes community. Are you ready to become a bankable CEO? Well, join us on the pathway to prosperity. I'm Ashley Scott, your host of Mocha Money Monday. Good morning and welcome to another Mocha Money Monday. I'm your host, Ashley Scott, and today I am super excited to be with none other than an amazing chef. Someone who I have enjoyed her most delicious, amazing combinations. This young lady, she's trained professionally. She's done so much, and I can't even begin. But let me just introduce and welcome to Mocha Money Monday, Chef Rochelle Wharton. Welcome, the
Thank
vegan fixer.
you. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited. I know we're going to talk about good things and, have some great nuggets for everyone that we can share. And again, thank you. And thank you for having this so early because my day starts early and it's really hard for me to get things done. So this is perfect for me. Thank you, Ashley.
Well, perfect. Well, let's get started. I understand that you've probably been into food and being a chef, but when did you decide to start being more healthy and to look at creating this vegan lifestyle that you've been helping us to promote and helping us to experience at the Phenomenal Hughes Global Network?
Yeah, so I actually my journey actually began in science. I have a degree in biology. And I worked in vet medicine for about 25 years. And in the interim, I went to culinary school because I've always had a love for food. So my mom was actually suffering from colon cancer while I was in school, and I was always searching for ways for her to get better. And usually our lifestyle changes consist of food first, because that's the only way we can sustain life, correct? So sometimes we make the wrong decisions and we go the wrong path, but that should be first and foremost. Our lifestyle change is how we eat. So when I figured out that a lot of meats and processed foods are huge causes of cancer, I started to do more research on how animals were being treated prior to us eating them, how they're processed, and how it affects us internally, right? When we eat the meat that has been processed. And once I figured that out, there was no turning back. I decided that that was not for me, that I wanted to educate my family first and then the masses. So that's kind of how I got started on this journey.
Well, thank you for being so transparent. I think a lot of us end up finding our paths because of, some trauma. Sometimes it's wanting to heal yourself or wanting to heal a loved one. And I want to talk a little bit more about healing through food, right, Chef Rochelle? What has been your experience, or what have some of the, things that you've seen in your lives and your stories of working with people where food has been medicine for folks?
Yeah. So if you think back to our ancestors, they used plants for everything. We didn't have pharmaceutical companies to create all of this madness that's literally killing us. So once you look back to that, you understand that live plants are the things that keep us alive. Flesh really should not be eaten. It's just not for us. But unfortunately, humans concentrate more on money than health, right? So there's always that dollar behind what we're doing that makes us do the things that we probably shouldn't. So, on this journey, I have learned so much. And the beauty in it is there's always more to learn. So if you think about human medicine, like our doctors, they're always going to conferences, they're always learning new ways surgically to do things, how to heal people. But unfortunately, it's unconventional because it's not the proper way. It's just a quick fix, or it's a fix so that people can continue to live an unhealthy lifestyle. So,
Mhm.
using different herbs from my garden, growing my own vegetables because I know they're not being sprayed with pesticides, even for those meat lovers, there are alternative ways if we actually support our local farmers, because a lot of our farmers, they grow their own animals. We know what they're feeding them and they slaughter them where it's not a mass slaughtering where these animals are being traumatized and we're eating their trauma.
Mm, mm. So
Yeah.
this is all really good stuff. Do you have any tips or tricks for folks who are considering making a transition from a meat eating lifestyle to being a vegan?
I do. It is hard. I would never say that it's an easy thing to do. I think the easiest part of it is finding someone who understands how to prepare meals that taste good. I think a lot of people shy away, or even when they hear the word vegan, because they think, oh, it's just going to be vegetables and I'm going to eat like a rabbit. And, and that's not true. So, one beautiful thing about our Wind Down Wednesday, shout out to our Wind Down Wednesdays, uh, is that I prepare foods that people are typically used to having, but just in a vegan form. So that portion of the art of food makes people remember, right? So we remember smells, we remember taste. They take us back to our childhood. So if I can give you something that's going to take you back to something your grandmama made, why
Mhm.
would you not want to continue to go down that path?
Right. Now, when you think about trying to find recipes or just integrate it small into your life, right? Where should I go, right? Like if I'm a regular everyday girl who's like, I'm ready to start incorporating more vegan meals in my life. I know some people even do this thing where they're like, I give up meat on Fridays, right? And
Right.
they only once a week they're like, I'm going to try this vegan thing to help make an impact globally and sustainably. So what are some things that you can or some areas where you can point us to find some of these meals?
So definitely, I have a YouTube page and I do a lot of videos on preparing different foods. And it's not all just vegan either. I prepare foods that are healthy, where you're not using a lot of animal fat, you're not using a lot of salt, teaching
Mm.
you how to use different herbs, even fruits as lemon. Lemon helps as a great salt substitute.
Okay.
So showing people these different ways on how to prepare food healthy. Maybe they're not ready for that journey, baby steps, to become a vegan. But I do definitely have a YouTube channel. Culinary Veg Out is my YouTube channel. And I find that when I can actually see people doing things, I learn a little faster. So I think videos help, but there's always the recipe attached as well. So that's definitely a great way of figuring that out. Is just going to my channel and watching some of my videos. And I have tutorials. I even have knife skill tutorials and teaching you how to hold a knife properly so that you don't hurt yourself as well.
Okay, so we got the tutorials on YouTube if we want to get some things that we can start adding to our repertoire, to our menu. What are just some other tips, tricks you want to encourage people of color, especially when you think about this lifestyle? So many people having so many health ailments, from diabetes to high blood pressure, folks dealing with, stress and mental illness. What are just some things that you want to share with our community as it relates to healthy eating?
So I think it first starts with mental health. You have to be mentally prepared to change. You have to be mentally prepared to have a different lifestyle. It's not just about going and buying all this stuff, taking it home, trying to cook it if you're still feeling crappy about yourself, right? So I think targeting that area first is most important, because once you love on yourself enough, you're going to want to have to change that food so that you can continue to grow and blossom into that beautiful person that God made us to be. And so that goes along with not only diabetes and high blood pressure, kidney and liver disease, also how our skin looks,
Mm.
how our hair grows, how our nails grow, how healthy our teeth are. All of those kind of go together. They all go in that same pot with taking care of our organs as well. So I would definitely say starting off by making sure that you're happy, you're healthy. I meditate. Meditation is a great form of relieving stress for me. It's
Mm.
something that's learned as well. It is a process, but it works for me. And I find that when I talk to a lot of people that look like us, And I asked them about those things. There are more people getting into meditation because life is already stressful. But for us, times 10, right? We always have way more challenges than anyone else. So those things first and foremost, making sure that you're eating the right amount of meals a day, making sure that you're consuming the right amount of water, getting rid of those sugary drinks. We love fruit drinks. We love that stuff in the morning, but we got to get away from those things. You should have a glass of water before you do anything with your day to jumpstart your body. So I think all of those things are very important for us because we already know in our community, mental health is number one that we have to take care of. I think everything else kind of falls in line after that. But, also keeping in mind that we don't have to have that slave mentality. This is what I preach at every one of my dinners. Don't have to have that anymore. There's way too many options for us and for our children. We don't have to go to that fast food restaurant because in our community, there's about 20 of them on every corner, right? So that's not something that we have to do. Just changing our mentality to make sure that we're healthier. We are capable of living past 100. It has been done. Our ancestors did it, all because they ate properly, they lived properly, they didn't stress, they didn't work themselves to death. We just have to get there where we're financially in a position that we have time to be able to rest and not be in front of a device 24/7 because that adds to our stress as well. That's just my opinion. Hopefully everyone agrees with that and understands. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Well, I want you to talk more around just things around how people can even change that mindset. Like, I definitely think meditation is something that's important. I know I've been journaling a lot when it comes to trying to create new habits. I have some affirmations that I've been saying around how I eat healthy and make good choices and make good food choices. And I remind myself that it is a journey, that I have to have some tools and some habits to support myself with not falling off the path and not
Yeah.
reverting back to my typical meat eating habits or ingesting all the sugars that, we sometimes crave, especially after taking the time to detox. You don't want to go back down
Right.
those same rabbit holes. So I just want as many tricks, tips, tools, whatever you got, Chef Rochelle, go on and give them to us.
Well, I do want to mention something really quick that I think is really important. Brown people love chicken. Chicken is an Achilles heel for so many people. I just want to throw this statistic out. There are 1.65 million chickens that are consumed by Americans daily.
1.65 million chickens a day.
Daily. That's huge. I mean, not a lot needs to be said after that is said. So if you look at chickens that humans consume on a daily basis, what do they look like? They all look exactly the same. They're all white. They all are in places where they live. When they say they're free range, that just means they get to walk around in their own feces. And I'm not trying to make anybody sick this morning, but these are the facts. And we need to pay attention to these facts. So when we are watching all this nonsense that's going on in the music industry and the movie industry, we're distracted from the things we really need to be paying attention of. And that is how sick these animals are that you're eating. That is how mass produced they are. That is the hormones that they're feeding them so they can grow faster and bigger. You're consuming all of that. Part of that plays on our mental health as well. It's not just stress, it is what we're eating. Because we have to feed our brain, right? So all of that goes into your bloodstream, it goes into your cells, and it's very hard to get rid of. A lot of people don't realize that when you eat beef, that portion of what you ate, that little portion of what you ate stays in your large intestines for up to a month.
Wow.
So when these people are cleansing, right, can't go back because you're actually detoxifying your body. Why put that right back in? It makes no sense. And if you pay attention to how you feel afterwards, right, you'll start to notice your eyes are brighter, your skin is brighter, you're more aware, you're not drowsy. These things are very important, especially in a life where we work so hard all the time. So, yeah. And then the journaling, let's on that for a little bit. I've been journaling since I was in high school. And one of the reasons why I do it is because whenever I'm faced with trauma, I'll write it down. And then when I'm feeling better, it could be a month, 6 months, a year, I go back and read what I went through. Let's see what my progress is, right? Am I still on the right path? I can't believe I made it through that, right? I survived it. So those are all the things that keep you going and want you to live, right? And then when we have beautiful people in front of us that uplift us on a daily basis, that helps as well because we all have to be here for each other and we all have to give a little tap on the shoulder. You know, Ashley, I saw you with that chicken wing. Let's not do that tomorrow. We're going to get back on track. So just supporting each other. And some people might not like it, but that's okay because it's all out of love.
It's all love. And I
Yes.
think that's the most important part, right? Is to find community with people who are like-minded on the journey, because obviously when you're the only anywhere, it makes it that much more difficult, right? If you're the only person who's practicing a vegan lifestyle, if you're the only person who is, deciding to do something that is against the grain, it just is always going to be met with struggle and opposition, right? And so having that community is important. Can you tell people a little bit more about the dinners that you've been doing with us and what inspired our El Verde Supper Club and this vegan vixen combination, how that happened and what's on the way?
Absolutely. So as the universe would have it, I was introduced to this phenomenal woman who you all know, Miss Donetta Wells. And my reason for meeting with her initially was because I also have a vegan skincare line. And I was looking for angel investors. I was looking for a way to be able to support my brand without me having to come out of pocket, but also without me having to give the man my money. I'm not interested, right? So we started talking about food, and she told me about the El Verde Supper Club. And I said, oh my God, this would be so great. And she's like, well, what kind of food do you do? I said, vegan. And she just lit up because what better way to get that message out to our people but through food, right? And communing at the table, because that's what we have always done. We sit at the table, we talk to each other about our day, we talk to each other about the things we do. And it also gives me the opportunity to educate because I have everyone there listening. So it is a phenomenal opportunity. I am so, so grateful. And it warms my heart to see everyone at the table enjoying things that they didn't know they could have vegan.
Yes, and I do. I've enjoyed every one of our El Verde supper clubs where you have blessed us with some amazing, delicious vegan meals. Some of them are, warm and familiar, like the chili you did for us in Houston. And then some of them are new, like I never had that dessert where it was in the cigar roll that you rolled.
Yeah.
So it's always a fun experience just to have, just such variety and versatility and it be vegan.
Yes.
And it's always yummy. And I think that's the part that's most
Yeah.
important for most people is that it's yummy, delicious food that's filling and filling for the soul as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Chef, what's next for you when you think about our community at the Phenomenal Hues Global Network? We're about the business, we're about getting to the bag. And I'd love for you to just talk a little bit about how you plan to scale and grow your business as the Vegan Vixen.
Absolutely. So again, my mission is to educate. So I have partnered with the Atlanta Community Food Bank. I've done a couple of YouTube sessions with them on teaching the community how to prepare meals. So we just did one a couple of weeks ago where we did a vegetable pasta sauce. And their mission is to make sure that the community that has or suffers from food deserts can eat properly. They can come to the food bank, they can collect the food that they need. And when we have chefs that create these recipes, it's usually a 9 or less ingredient list so that they can afford to purchase the ingredients to feed their family healthy. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, which I'm really excited about, is participating in yet another Friendsgiving. I do this every year. So when we partner with them, they actually take whatever money we raise and they give it to the children in Atlanta who are less fortunate and don't have food to take to school or food to eat on the weekends. A lot of our children only eat when they're at school, and we lose sight of that. So this is helping the community as well. So, I know we have to get to the bag, but right now, my focus is more on educating the community and helping the community. And I love working with children because they're our future. And if we can get to them, then they're going to live their lives the proper way so that they can take care of us.
Well, I would love to give the audience a chance to ask any questions that they might have. It's very rare that we get a chef that is experienced with making delicious vegan fare. So if there's questions that you might have, definitely feel free, drop them in a chat. You can absolutely come on to the screen if you like. I see a couple of things in here. And if we have time, if we have any questions, I know for me, chef, I find that trying to make delicious vegan food in my experience is a little pricey when I'm doing like organic stuff, when I'm trying to, make something for my family that I think everyone will enjoy. I sometimes end up with a lot of processed vegan things just to say that it's vegan. What's your take on that? And how can we cook more affordably without adding processed vegan foods into our meals?
Yeah. So again, supporting our local farmers. Um, we have a lot of people in our community that use SNAP benefits, and our local farmers, they actually will double your benefits. So you're getting more for your money, right? So if you're supporting our local farmers, our grocery stores aren't going to do that for us. They're just not. So our local farmers, you can go get fresh produce that they have grown. They also, a lot of them have websites with recipes, which help tremendously as well. And a couple of the farmers that I utilize, they're vegan as well, believe it or not. So they're on that journey of eating healthier. They have vendors that are at the farms as well. So we'll have vendors that have sea moss, which is very good for us. It's trending now. They'll have different turmeric products, or even just the root itself, because that's also something that's very healing for us, for our liver, for our kidneys. So these things are nuggets that we can take away and utilize on a daily basis, and it won't break our pockets, right? It's not going to kill us. It's not going to break our pockets. And then practice makes habit. So the more you practice doing this, the more you're going to feel good about it. Just like, having a great smoothie in the morning, get those fruits together, throw some veggies in there. The kids will love it. You got a kid that doesn't eat veggies, so easy to mask veggies, just like doing a pasta sauce. Mm-hmm. So these are the things that, I take away with, knowing that these are nuggets that are going to help our people. They are going to, hopefully be able to utilize them and also not be intimidated. I feel like a lot of people get intimidated when they hear vegan and trying to cook vegan as well. And you just get a little flustered and then you give up and you're like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Mm-hmm. Processed foods, we have to stay away from them. You might as well eat a bunch of McDonald's if you're going to eat all the processed foods. And so now that's the new thing, right? It's like, okay, you want to be a vegan? There's 1,000 companies that are creating all of this processed food that's supposed to be just like the other thing that you've been eating all this time. So if you really think about it, why would they create something to mimic something that's bad for you? That part. So yeah, those are the things we just have to think about this. We just have to take the time, and time is the thing, right? We don't have time. So we go get something that's super quick, super easy. Right. If you're super hungry, you're definitely going to make bad choices. So, I encourage everyone to, make your own trail mix, put it in your purse. If you're going to be at work and you're hungry, instead of going to the vending machine and getting cookies or chips, pull out that trail mix, just make healthy lifestyle choices that are easy that you can take away every day.
Well, thank you so much, Chef Rochelle. Are you a part of the Phenomenal Hughes Global Network?
Absolutely, I am. How could I not be?
Well, we are so appreciative to have you a part of our epicenter of phenomenal women. It would not be the same without you, Chef Rochelle. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
If
you.
people want to get connected with you, do they follow you? Are you the Vegan Vixen on social media, Instagram? How do we get in touch? Are you doing, can I book you? You doing meal preps? What's the deal?
Yes, so I absolutely do meal prep. I do weekly meal prep. I do for families. I do for, single people. I actually have, people that have family members that are not interested in changing. So they are the ones that, hire me to do meal prep. You can also hire me for parties. I don't do anything big. I do not do anything that's over 60 people just because I like to make sure that I can be consistent with my meals and make sure that everything is good. And then as far as social media is concerned, you definitely can follow me on IG. It is the Vegan Vixen, and that is spelled VeeGanVixin. And when you go on to my IG account, there's actually a link that takes you to my website where you can book me if you need me for any events, anything. I am glad to help. Yeah.
Well, thank you again for sharing your insights with our audience today. It was truly so good to see you here on our Mocha Money Monday podcast. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'll love to come back again and we can talk about some other great things.
All right, let's do it. Well, thank you, audience, for tuning in to another Mocha Money Monday podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Scott, and this was brought to you by the Phenomenal Hughes Global Network and our friends at Wellson's Financial Group. If you need any coaching, any advice, access to capital, we got you. Come on and check us out at phenomenalhughes.com. Peace. We'll see you next week.
Get your money right, time to get your money right. Welcome to the Phenomenal Hughes community. Are you ready to become a bankable CEO? Well, join us on the pathway to prosperity. I'm Ashley Scott, your host of Mocha Money Monday.